Well, here's to another small town. I love these small towns. Hey, namaskar everyone, how are you? Hopefully everybody's been doing fantastic. Listen, if you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by and checking it out. I hope you're gonna stick around. If you're already a subscriber, thank you and welcome back. As always, welcome back means we are on another adventure, and that also means that you're gonna wanna know two things. You're gonna wanna know where we are and what we are doing. So let's start off with where we are. We are in Trumbull County, Northeast Ohio, in a little town called Vienna. Now Vienna, it was first surveyed way back in 1798 by three proprietors, Ephraim Root, Uriel Holmes, and Timothy Burr. Now, what are we doing in Vienna today? Well, I figured we'd do a little historic walk through the town cemetery, the old section of the town cemetery. Now, I've said it in the past. Actually, I've said it every time I do a cemetery park video. I always say, if you want to know the history of a town or a city, you need to go to the cemetery. That's where the history is. That is where the people that made an impact to that town or city are. So, I think what we're gonna do is I'm gonna walk this area. This more or less is the town square, the town green. And the cemetery is actually down by that third church down there, but I figured I'd start right here at the corner. There's the intersection of Vienna. This is the Vienna Square right here. I figured we start at the Vienna Presbyterian Church. But that is what our adventure is going to be today. We're going to do a cemetery walkthrough. I'll show you some of the, a few of the people that are buried there. We'll talk a little bit about it and try to get some history on the small town of Vienna. So if you are ready for today's adventure, I suggest you get off the couch, put on that small town smile, get ready, and let's go. We are right here. Right here. That is fantastic. Gotta go. Oh shoot. Look at all of them. I think they're ready to kick my ass. Harden saliva. You're okay. You're okay for watching my channel.
Jesus God, Mamma Mia, look what we got.
Shh. I said there's people still sleeping. Calm down. We're gonna go. We're gonna go. I told you she was afraid of bridges.
Do not. Stop it now.
That is the starting point of the trail. I guess. I don't know. You can start at the beginning or you can start at the end. I don't think it matters where you start at. But wherever you start, that's your starting point. Oh, shit. That's why I tell you, if anybody's looking for an HJ, this is the spot. Take a sip. History. Better Malanga. Okay, so we know we're in Vienna. We know that we're kind of in the town green, town square. And this was actually established in 1810, this whole area right here. And we'll talk more about that when we get into the cemetery, and we're gonna walk that way. But there's a few things of interest in this area here. The first, here is the veterans, the sailors and soldiers monument right here in the town square. And I figured we'd start off right here. A lot of people don't get out of their cars, they don't park, and they don't walk, and they don't venture to see what's in their own community, and it gets lost, and I kind of like to document that stuff. But there is the Sailors and Soldiers Monument right there. Get a little closer. Obviously, today is the 4th of July, so we got the red, white, and blue wreaths going on. We got the flags. Of course, the flags would probably always be out here. And I like this gate, this fencing. Look at that. Man, that's great. Look at how that is. It's just round. Has the finials right there. And you probably can't read any of the names. We got a little glare on there, but there's a shield right there, and we got the band of stars going across. We got the eagle perched way up high there. Look at that here. Well, maybe you can read some of the names on this side. I don't know if you can or not. Like I said, that's that marble, and you kind of get a glare on it. And I'll walk around. Yeah, it's very hard to see that. Yeah, Veterans of World War II right there. That's what that says there. Yeah, it's hard to read the names because of the glare from the sun. But if you look at some old pictures here, because this kind of stayed the same. This kind of area stayed the same. But you would see there would be some fencing over here for people to tie up their horses. Because, you know, way back in that time period, people were riding horses and buggies and carriages and such like that. So I thought that was pretty cool. But there's the church again. Vienna Presbyterian Church. And I told you this whole area was founded in, well, established in 1810. Look at that. Look at that cross up there, the steeple. Nothing fancy. It's, you look at these buildings and it has that New England style look to the area, right? That's because a lot of the people that are buried here, a lot of the people that came to Vienna were from Connecticut. So you're gonna have that. You're gonna have that look. Now, again, 1810 is when this park was established, and that's because the Presbyterian Church, where we are in front of right now, they actually purchased 8 acres from Ephraim and Uriel for $20. That's right, $20 is what they purchased 8 acres of clear, uncut land. Now, there's more to that story, and when we get into the cemetery, you'll find out exactly why they really wanted to purchase some of that land. But again, there's the Vienna Presbyterian Church. I'm not going to talk about that just yet, that building. But you go to the next building, that's the Vienna Methodist Church. Okay? Now, there used to be a building between this building and the Presbyterian Church. I believe it was the Presbyterian Church. I want to say it was between these two. If I'm wrong, somebody correct me on that, but I think the building was between here. It was first used as a church and a boys' school, I believe. That building is moved north up the road, and it's actually used as the Vienna Township Hall. Like I said, I believe it was between these two buildings right here. And that was probably added on to a little bit. Maybe, I would think so. I wouldn't think the church would be like super, that big way back, but maybe it was. I don't know. Maybe that side was added. I'm not sure. I don't know. But this right here, or should we talk about? Well, there's the bicentennial gazebo. Let's walk down. I'll tell you what, before we talk about this building, let's walk down. We'll walk down to the gazebo. And I know I told you we're going to the cemetery, and yes, we are. But I wanted to talk about the whole square because it blends in with the history of the cemetery. We'll walk through the gazebo, and I do see a historical marker right there. But here's the bicentennial gazebo, and I think this was built for a it was built for the town for a a special event or something, maybe the anniversary of the town or something like that. There's a bird. There's a bird nest up there. I like looking up in some of these gazebos in the corner, but yeah, I thought there'd be more, but there's one. Let's see what this has to say. Hopefully it's not telling them any information that I wanted to tell you. Let's see. Vienna Township. The Connecticut Land Company surveyed. Yep, Ephraim Root, Uriel Holmes Jr. I didn't mention Jr. It was Uriel Holmes Jr. and Timothy Burr. Let me see if I can get over here to keep that glare down. Oh, okay, this is 2. Okay, well, hold on. Let me go back over here. Okay, if you want to pause that and read it, go right ahead. There's some good history on that. So that's about Vienna Township. And if we go over here, this is the cemetery. Okay, this actually has some information I was going to tell you, but stop this, pause it, and let's see. Yeah, we're created 1810. Okay, there's they deeded Uriel Holmes, Ephraim Root. That's when they brought the property. Now we're gonna talk about the building that I wanted to talk about, the Copper Penny Masonic Lodge. That's what we're gonna talk about, which is right there. And I wondered if it had anything to do with the, if this had any information about the Township Hall. Okay, there are some, there's some information on there that we'll talk about. That but there we go. Vienna Township Bicentennial Park, 1799 to 1999. Okay, so in front of us, that's the Copper Penny Masonic Hall. This is pretty interesting. I just like the Masonic. It just, you know, something about it just seems so secretive, doesn't it? Now this was originally a 2-story school, is what that was. Look at that. And if you look up at the very top, you'll see the symbol. There's 4 panels of the Mason symbol up there. And I believe this was purchased for $30 to start the lodge up. They purchased this for $30, all in copper pennies. And that's why this is called the Copper Penny Masonic Lodge. In those stained glass up there, I don't know if that's stained glass or not. It looks like stained glass up there. But all 4 panels are supposed to, if those are the original panels, they're supposed to have a real copper penny in the design somewhere. I can't get up there and look. Maybe I will later. I don't know. I'll see if I can kind of get a picture, but the head of the penny should be facing out. So I thought that was pretty interesting. The Masonic Lodge, originally a 2-story school. Now we'll go over here. I see something interesting right here. This right here, this stone, the Copper Penny Lodge. There's the Mason symbol at the very top up there. And here's all the names of the members. Now I believe this chapter closed. I believe this chapter closed this year in January of 2023. Now the Vienna Historic Society owns it. But that right there, that stone, was the front stoop of this building for years and years. How cool is that? So they took the stone, they took the stoop, they engraved it with the names, and there we have it. Like I said, there was another building, I believe it was between these two, and you can't see it from here. It's up that road a little bit. Actually, across from the fire station. Almost directly across from the fire station. Where's that at? So there is where we are going to be walking in. The Vienna Memorial Cemetery. Look at that. There's the Methodist Church right there. I've not been in any of these churches, but again, this was the town square. I told you, all these little towns, cemeteries and such. I don't know about this one so much, probably in the past, but they were made as parks for people to come out, remember, and enjoy, you know, their family members and such. And you know, I mean, I know it's the green square, but there's benches here, the gazebo. You could come here, you could have a picnic, you know, and such. But yeah, this is very, very interesting. Even got the little pavilion down there with the kids play area over there. Might as well show you a picture of that. I like the top of that right there. Okay, now here we go. Right here, this is a really old cemetery, very old cemetery. So now I think this sign, I mean, it's important, but I've never seen a sign like this. In any of the other cemeteries I've been, I've not seen a sign like that. But that's a good, I mean, you shouldn't be on monuments anyway, but so if you ever see a sign, something happened for them to put a sign up. So maybe somebody did get hurt. Maybe somebody did, you know, get unalived by doing that. I don't know. But you must, I don't know if this, you know, was this gate permanently, you couldn't get in there before? They used to lock this. I don't know, but I like that gate. Got the stained glass. You can see the stained glass if you look real close. But let's walk through here. Yeah, look at this old gate. Look at that. Wow. That's neat. And there's the V, the C. I like these other gates here too. Those gates, I like those gates. I like those old gates. But here we go, Vienna Memorial Cemetery. And like I said, I'm going to take you through here, and we will talk about maybe 4 or 5 of the different people that are buried here. But if you come here after watching the video, yeah, see this church, that was probably an add-on. This was probably the original church right here, just this area, and then they probably added on. But look at some of these stones. These are just amazing. Of course, I told you a lot of these are old. You're gonna have this, but when you see this here, okay, when you see those different stones down like that, they do restore these headstones. You know, they work on them, and they do restore them. So I don't think it's vandalism. I think it's just years and years of elements, and you know, just you're gonna get that. But they do repair these. There's quite a few that they do repair. Now the first headstone that we are gonna come across, and I think this may be everybody's favorite when they come through this cemetery. This is Mary Paulie Bartholomew. She was born in 1849. I don't know if I mean the dates. You can see how the dates, I mean, it's so worn, like it's just so worn. But she was born in 1849, died in 1860. So that was 11 years old is what that was. So quite young. Now there's not much known about her, okay? We know that she was 11. We know that she was the 3rd child out of 7. And her great-grandfather was Abel Bartholomew. And we're gonna talk about him shortly, because he has some significance to this cemetery, which is it's important. It's very important. But yeah, there is Paulie. Now, when she passed away from the putrid sore throat infection, and that's what is that? Diphtheria? Is that how you pronounce that? Diphtheria? That's an infection of the throat and the nose. And that was a real bad thing way back in the past. A lot of people passed away from that, and she unfortunately was one. Her parents, they had this specially carved, you know, pretty much in her likeliness. Man, look at that. I mean, yeah, you can see why this is probably everyone's favorite when they come through here. It's just, I've never seen one like this ever. But yeah, there's Paulie, and it's hard to see. It says daughter of I can't read the names, but I do see Bartholomew down there. But now that's not the first headstone that you come across when you come into the cemetery, but that's the first one I think that you probably notice when you come in here. But yeah, 11 years old. Sad and unfortunate that would happen. Now, so if you're watching this video and you come here, you can follow this, how I'm doing it, in order if you want. But yeah, look, I mean, there's a lot of old stones in here. Yeah, a lot of old stones. See, here we go again with some that are just, I think this was probably this looks like it was probably restored, right? I mean, it had to be. But yeah, you can see they just crumble. It's sad, but they do, like I said, again, they do restore it. I thought this one was pretty neat. I mean, look at that. It's just a curved stone. I don't know what the AS is. That's all that's on there. But yeah, lots of old spirit going through this cemetery. Yeah, look at that. Wow. Yeah, see, look at some of these. Wow. I think I see one that we need to talk about here. This one right here that I'm walking up to. This was Lambert W. Lewis. So from 1812 to I think 1835, Trumbull County was known for clockmaking, grandfather clocks to be exact. And if we're talking about Lambert Lewis right here, he was the village clockmaker. How crazy is that? Now, he had when he started his business, he had a 3.5-story, we'll walk around it. He had a 3.5-story clockmaking business. I'm looking at this. I'm trying to stay out of the glare. But he had a 3.5-story business, and it was powered. I think the creek down here is Squaw Creek, so it was water powered by a little branch off of Squaw Creek. I do know that at the end of his career, I don't know if it's on there or not. I think he only passed away at age 48. I'm gonna have to look on my phone. I think I can read you that and tell you what that says. But he had the largest and longest running factory in Trumbull County. Okay, so he was he was, you know, he was a businessman for sure. But I think he passed away kind of early. I think it was a pretty painful disease that he had. And I think he was in financial problem. And then he also, at the end, the craftsmanship was lacking. So he was in some trouble between the disease that he had. I'm not sure what it was, but I did read that it was you know, a painful death that he had. So he had some problems there at the end. But you know, he was the village clockmaker. He did have significance here. If you look back here, here's the footstone. Here's his footstone with LWL. Lambert W. Lewis. And I like some of the, see if I can get close. Hopefully that shows up. Some detail in there. LWL. Okay, let me see if I can get on my phone. Now look, I'll show you. I think I can read you this right here while we're doing that. But look, there's the two doves. We got the two weeping willows. You know, double brownstone kind of deal going on. Now if I can get on my phone and see what this says. Let's see. Hopefully I can find it. I may not be able to find it. In memory of Lambert. Let's see. I don't know. There's some flies flying around. I know it's in memory of Lambert W. Lewis, who, I'm trying to find it still. Maybe I don't have it. Maybe I don't have that. I cannot see it. Maybe if I step back. In memory of Lambert W. Lewis, who something his life, August, 18, should be in 1835 somewhere in there. I cannot read it. I thought I had that somewhere where I could read it. I guess not though. But yeah, there's the two weeping willows and the doves. So yeah, I wish I could read you what that says. I tried to even stand back, but I guess not. But yeah, look at the dates. Look at the dates on some of these. 1851. Here's another downstone right there. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna go across. I see one right now that we could talk about a little bit. Yeah, it's sad to see that, but I'm glad to know that they do preserve these and they do rebuild them. Wow. Okay, let me walk around. I don't want to step over anybody here, but that one right there is the one we could talk about for a minute here. See down at the bottom, Helen L. Betts, September 6, 1845, February 21st, 1910. Look at this name. I don't even know how you pronounce that. What is that, Xenophon? Xenophon Betts. But we're talking about Helen Betts. Helen Betts, now they came a little later to Vienna, her parents. But if you're talking about Helen Betts, quite interesting. She was a teacher. She went to school. She studied medicine. She did travel a lot of places. She had a lot to do with children and such. But what we want to know, what we really are concerned about her and her goodness, though, was she was the first female physician in Trumbull County. She actually worked in Youngstown too, which is not far. I mean, Youngstown is right down the way. First female physician in Trumbull County. Now, she did not die here. Okay? She's not even buried here. Now, you know, that's obviously her father right there. And I think he was I think he was actually a pastor, maybe at the Presbyterian church. I think he was I know he was a pastor, but yeah, Helen Betts, she passed away in California, and what she wanted to have happen is she wanted to be cremated. So she was cremated and she was brought here, and her ashes were spread. This must be her mother right here, Amelia Betts. But her ashes were spread on her parents' grave. So first female physician of Trumbull County, and then her ashes, she was cremated, and her ashes were brought here and spread on her parents. So quite an interesting story on that. Yeah, I'm just looking at some of these. Look at that little one right there. Yeah, this is the old section. This is the old section of the cemetery. A little crypt right there. Let's see, where do we, I'm trying to remember where I want to be. Has to be over here. Or is it? Maybe it was back over here. Did I pass it up? Maybe I passed it up. Nope. I'm looking for a stone kind of like that. No, this is turning bad. I don't know what I Nope. Where am I looking? Oh boy. I thought I knew where these stones were. Let me get back on the road so I can I know where one is that I want to no, you know what? Here. Right here. It was in front of me the whole time. Jeez Louise. My goodness. Here is Abiel Bartholomew. Now, you heard that name before in my video. Where'd you hear my name? Where'd you hear that name before? When we were talking about Paulie over there. And we said her great-grandfather was Abiel Bartholomew. Here it is. Abiel Bartholomew. Right there. Who departed his life January 2nd, 1805. 41 years. In him, the loving husband, the tender parent, and useful member of society were combined. Now, he is the whole reason the cemetery is here. Okay? Back in 1805, as you'll see, he passed away in 1805. He died from a falling tree. So a tree fell on him. He was the first death in Vienna Township, and he was the first person buried here in this cemetery. He is the whole reason right there that the deed, I don't know if I told everybody or not, 1805, he passed away. That is when this cemetery started. It was in 1805. Dropping stuff. So in 1805, he was buried here. This was unofficially a cemetery back then. And then 1810 is when the deed was actually recorded for the Presbyterian Church. I told you the Presbyterian Church bought 8 acres from the 2 proprietors here. And he is the whole reason, Ephraim Root and Uriel Holmes sold those 8 acres. And it's kind of weird because this was unofficially established, a cemetery, in 1805. but it became official in 1810, along with the town green, the town square over there. So he was very important to Vienna. It's unlucky that he was the first one to pass away and be buried here. But yeah, that's kind of an interesting story. Died from a falling tree. Now, here, I kept looking at this one. When I was looking for Abiel, I was looking for this one here. I was looking at this one, and I knew this wasn't the one. This is Reverend Nathan Bailey Darrow. This is really worn right here, but you can see the urn. You can see the urn in the middle. This is really rubbed away, but you can see the weeping willow here. You can see the urn, but it's chipped away real bad. And I think this one may be the one that I have that I can read to you. But he was the first regular pastor of the Presbyterian Church. He was known as the Good Reverend. He did some stuff in New York and such, but he used Vienna as a home base because he traveled the Western Reserve. He was starting up new churches and such. Along his travels, being that he was educated, he would go to some of these different areas, and they were pretty much illiterate, so he was the only literate one to teach these people, to bring them books, to let them know what was going on and such like that. And that's why he had the name of the Good Reverend. So I think that's pretty fascinating. But in 1811, that is when he was the first permanent pastor of the church. He was married twice, and I think I'm looking, I don't know which one it is. He was married twice, and he was buried to his first wife, and I would say it was Betsy. I would say it was Betsy. I don't know who Esther is. They did have a child, so maybe that's their child. So I'm assuming, let's see, Mrs. Betsy F. Darrow. I think that would be his first wife, and there's the footstone right there. And then you have the Reverend. Wow. Now, let me see if I can find on my phone. I took pictures of some of these things, and let me see. Let me see. Okay, here we go. If you look at that right there, what this says is sacred to the memory of Reverend Nathan B. Darrow. Born New London, Connecticut. I told you a lot of people were from Connecticut around here. August 11th, 1773, and died in Vienna, Ohio, November 16th, 1828. So I was able to read you that one. So that's cool. I thought I had it written where I could see that one down there. I guess not. So we were able to read Abiel. This one, I was able to tell you what it said. I don't know what that says down there at all. Blessed are the dead, who is just worn out real bad. Yeah, see that? Worn out. Okay. There's one more that I think is probably the most ornate out of all these stones here. I think it's going to be the most ornate one in the cemetery, both old and new section. But yeah, see, there's another one broke off. Yeah, they're just, at least they're here. At least they're not gone. At least they're here and can be saved. Yeah, there's, man, look at that one. Yeah, that's, wow. Here's that Jesse Baldwin. Wow, yeah, at least all the pieces are here. Man, yeah, there's some over there. Wow, you know you're in an old cemetery when you see that. And like I said, I don't think this is vandalism at all. Sorry about that. I don't think this is vandalism at all. I'm getting these ticks and stuff, or not ticks, but these little spiders. But here, I hope they're not ticks. They don't look like ticks. Right here is the last one we're gonna talk. This is Cordelia Baldwin. Okay, she passed away in 1841 at only 5 years old. Okay, real sad. But if you look at this, stone, if you look at this headstone, it's pretty much made for a queen. I mean, look at this thing. Okay, wow. It is an unknown carver. Okay, this is an unknown carver, but he does have a moniker, and it's called Fancy D. That's what they call him. And he has a couple things that he was known for. Okay, actually one major thing he was known for. Two. Okay, but look on this headstone, you have the blossoming flowers there. You got the vines, you got the leaves. Okay, here is one thing he was known for right there. It's a 6-sided coffin, and he would put those in. He would put those in the design somewhere, and it was usually above. It was usually above the inscription and whatnot. And I think I can read you this too. I have that on my phone too. I might be able to read it right from here. But yes, this right here, he was known as Fancy D. And this stuff is worn off. A lot of his stuff is worn off here. But they called him Fancy D because when he would write the word die, death, and etc., he would have a swooping D. And man, I'm getting bit up by something. This grass, I'm in the grass, and I'm gonna have to check for ticks. Fancy D, and he was known for the swooping D's on death and die when he would write them. If I can get a picture of another headstone, because he does have quite a few in the area. I'll insert it somewhere right now where I'm talking about. But yeah, he's probably gonna stay anonymous. He is anonymous, so no one will probably ever know, you know, who actually what his real name was. Yeah, let's see the back. Okay, I'll tell you what, I'm just gonna read you what this says, because I'm not kneeling down no more. I'm not kneeling down no more on the thing. Okay, right here, down at the bottom right there. Okay, it's right there, and then I'll step back and I'll read you this. What that says is, come parents, off the ground to view where your Cordelia lies, and sisters, remember too, that must also die. So that's almost kind of chilling, really. I think, but I mean, it's how they thought back then, you know, how they writ. Everything was kind of like poetic like that. But yeah, that's, how neat is that, huh? You know, and I'm not saying that in a bad way. Cemeteries, we're supposed to remember, you know, the past and such, and you know, yes, grieve, but we're supposed to just remember, and remember happy memories. But yeah, that was a few of the graves that I wanted to talk about. You know, that one being, you know, so ornate, an unknown carver. This one here, you know, the first Reverend Abiel being the first one that passed away. We had the first physician that's over there. Down there we had the village clockmaker, and then of course we had Paulie down there on the right. So actually, I hope you enjoyed this little adventure. I know a lot of people like to go to cemeteries, especially if you're a photographer. I know Paulie has a lot a lot of pictures taken of her. But now you know, even if you're from the area, if you're not from the area, I would suggest you come out to Vienna, you look this cemetery up, and you come out and you check it out. It's super small. I mean, look right here. There's where I parked over there, out in that parking lot. This is it right here. You don't even have to go to the new section, okay? This is the old section right here. Just this part right here. This is the old section. So, yeah. So yeah, that's the end of the video. I figured we'd do a, it is the 4th of July today, but this probably won't be posted until after. So, I'll say it anyway. Happy 4th of July. Hope everybody still got all their fingers left and such. I got them. But yeah, I think we'll, I think me and Paulie will do the outro together. Yeah, she has a lot of pictures taken of her. All right, sad story, but yeah, I think she may be the most famous, not famous, but she's the most one people come here to the cemetery to see because of that headstone right there. But yeah, I want to thank everybody for coming on today's adventure. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope everybody stayed safe during the 4th of July holiday. And like and subscribe if you wouldn't mind. Especially subscribe. Hit the bell icon. That way when I post a video, you'll know exactly when I post it. And then you can watch it. And then you can like that one. So, and leave a comment. I read them all. I try to answer them all. I really do. So, I'm going to leave you with, until I see you on the next adventure, wherever that may be, Bartholomew.